Okay, so whatever we have covered so far, right? Some basics on the playbooks, how to write the playbooks, and how we can execute the task and everything, right? So very simple task we had written of installing and copying files and all these stuffs, very simple stuffs we had seen so far. So in our last class also we had a little discussed about the AdHoc commands, why we need AdHoc commands. Someone had asked me, right, why we need AdHoc commands and all. So AdHoc commands actually it's very simple way to use normally when you should go with the AdHoc one, right? Whenever you write any program, any kind of automations, right? Why we need automation first of all, we need to understand, right? So automations we need to execute the task which we perform repeatedly, right? Which we the manual workaround which we do repeatedly every day, and many resources being used to do that, right? So those manual stops which requires more time, which requires more resources, every time we have to do it, right? So those stops we have to automate it, and the automations will run all the times automatically without any interventions, right? Any without any manual interventions by any user by any resources. But in case of AdHoc commands, the task which we do rarely, like suddenly we need something to do. Suppose some example like if you want to reboot a server on some specific day, you don't have to write automations for that, right? You have to simply write execute one command on some particular day that will shut down the system. And if suppose your application is running and you it is required a file to be copied, you can simply copy a file to your application server where your application is running, and you're missing something on those particular server, you simply go there and put it there, and you feel like something like missing. And suppose you are working on suppose 10 UI servers, and you felt like that there are one software is missing from all the 10 servers. So you can just write AdHoc commands to install immediately the 10 AdHoc 10 install the software on 10 machines, right? Immediately, if it is required, immediately, and once it is required. After that, it is not required. So in those scenarios, you should go with the AdHoc commands. So if you go with this introduction and this documentation, everything we used it here. So why use AdHoc commands? So here is given some example here. So AdHoc commands are great tasks. Tasks you repeat rarely, means you very rarely you just work it. So then you have to go with the AdHoc commands. If you want to power off all machines in your lab for Christmas vacation, you could execute a quick one-liner Ansible without writing a playbook, right? So Ansible provides that feature, that facility to work on. So what we can do, we can simply use Ansible and these modules, and then just module name. Suppose you want to restart your servers, right? Here you can rebooting the server, you can just use the Ansible and the host group name, and command you have to just execute as will reboot. So if you want to, here is given by default Ansible uses only 5 simultaneous processes. If you want to more process to work, so you have to specify -F10, 10 parallel forks if you want, so you can specify it. If you want to provide any username, you can provide it. So follow this documentations for anything. As I said before, all the time, whenever we are learning something, the documentation is the most important, and the only thing which you follow in your career, right? In your future endeavor, whatever in future you are going to learn, you have to use it. Use the documentation. Now, here, just rebooting some use cases here they have given, rebooting a server and some managing a file, as I was saying, to copy a file to a server, and you can just put it there. And if you want to just do some file creation, changing some mode, okay. And you felt like one server, suppose on few servers, once your deployment is completed, you feel like there are a few server which are missing the permissions, right? What you can do immediately without making the playbook to change and execute again, change the permissions, what you can do, you can just write the command, right? AdHoc commands to execute this mode on those servers. Okay. So here, and also managing the packages. What are the packages you want? As I was telling, to install some missing packages or anything. So you can just go with that. Okay. Now, here, managing packages, how it to do, managing users and groups, right? All these things. You manage the services, everything, gathering facts. Okay. Here in the gathering facts, that's the most important, guys. What it says, the facts represents discovered variables about a system. You can use facts to implement conditional executions of the task to get some informations about all the systems. Suppose if you want to know about a software, there could be a question comes, right? Once you install something, right? Once you install something and you feel like you need to check, right, whether those things have been installed or not. How you'll check it? In interview, they may ask you a tricky question like, you have written a playbook to install, suppose, Git server, Git, install Git on 15 or 20 servers, right? How you check whether the Git has been installed successfully or not? So obviously from the log we can see whether it is installed or not for the 10 servers. But apart from that, how we check that one? So there is some condition. There is one thing is called this gathering facts. Okay, the gathering facts, and that is ANSIBLE facts. So checking how we can just gather the facts about the softwares and all. Right. So let me show you that today how we can do that. Okay. Now, once we have ideas about this gathering facts, let me just go and check about this fact and also. What we can do here, we have one thing called cake status, okay, package status. So here we can just check the modules called package facts, package facts to view whether a package has been installed or not. So how it does? If I just go to the module section, let me first explain the module sections. I already have shown you two modules. I think one was to the apt or yum module, apt module, and some copy module. Very few modules, so only three modules I had discussed in our last class. So if you go to the module sections here in the documentations, you'll find hundreds of modules available. Hundreds of modules available here, right? See, all these modules. So you don't have to necessarily use all these modules until unless there is a requirement, right? So based on your requirement, you have to choose the module wisely. If the module is not available, then you have to make your own module, own plugin. Okay. Let me just show you all these things, how you'll use this module documentations. As I said, I need to copy a file, right? So you can just search for the copy module. Okay. And if you want to execute a command on any machine, so you can go with command module. Okay. You can go with the command module. And if you want to check for installations and all, right? So you have to go with the package management module, right? For Ubuntu, it is apt module, right? We know it very well. And for Linux, for CentOS and for others, this yum module, right? Manage packages with the yum package manager. We have also, will have ping module, we have pip module, Python package manager, if you have to install anything, right? So these are the modules which we have to check it. Now we are talking about the package facts, right? See, package informations as facts. So we can get all this package information, which packages have been installed or not, right? So gather facts module, gather facts about the remote system, remote host, how you can use it. If I just go with the gather facts, it will give you the information how you can use this particular thing. See, all have been given here. Similarly, if I go with package facts, you'll find the parameters, what are the parameters is required, right? And strategy, managers, and all. So here, simple things they have given it, small example about this, whether this particular thing have been installed or not. Okay, let's do this in our code, whatever I have written it here. So what is going to do it here is just going to check whether the package status has been done or checked or not, means installed or not. Okay, so what I'll do here, let's copy this particular code. So I have logged into my Ansible server, right? So here, let's create one YAML file called check package. Okay, check package dot YAML. So here, what happened? Let me just explain you this one. I have this host, this particular YAML file. What it will do? It will just check on this particular web server, right? We have UI server. In our inventory, in our last class, we had created the group as UI server. The task, what are the tasks we are going to get it? We are going to use this task, get RPM package. Okay, facts. Package facts manager auto. So if I just go to the package facts section here, so we have this parameters manager. So the package manager used by the system, so we can query the package information. Either you can, so by default it is auto. If you are going to check the Red Hat CentOS machine, Red Hat machine should go with the RPM package, Red Hat package manager. And if you're having your node server is the Ubuntu server, then you can go with apt, right? Apt package manager. Similarly, all this package manager you need to find it. So if you select auto based on the machine, it will get the information first. Okay, automatically. Now here the strategy, first or all, if you want to just set up. And here you can see here the examples they have given, this manager auto, same things. If I just go and check in my code also, I've just given package facts manager auto. And here I'm just going to use another module called debug, another module called debug. You can search this module, you can find it. So debug, and here I'm just giving parameter message where I'm just going to use this item. Okay, I'll just explain you what is this. So what exactly these two curly braces starting and ending, this is called actually Jinja template in Ansible. I'll just explain you after this what is the Jinja template and how we can just use. So Jinja template, what happens, the Ansible and the Jinja template actually, it's actually a technique, or can say code where you can inject the variables into the Ansible playbook. Okay, so if you see here, what happens, I'm just getting these variables here. So where it is declared, you can see here below, we have this with items. Like, what is this with items actually? In normally in the other programming languages, we use the looping things, right? For loop and all these. But here we have in a line, in Ansible, we have with items and loops, two modules where we can use the for conditions, right? For loops. So here with items, I have just given two things, like to check whether the VI editor or the HTTPD server has been installed or not. So you can check it here and you can find it over here. Now, what happens here, I'm just giving here two items here, and what it will do, it will go ahead and check these two items here, one after another, and provide us the information. And same time, it just gives us installed if item, in Ansible underscore facts dot packages, else not installed. If the item, whatever, suppose if this item, it checks here debugging, in debugging sections, if I go to the debug module, right? If I go to the debug module section, let's go to the debug module here. uh, debug module here. So if what it says, it just print statements during execution, right? Here we can see here Ansible debug module message, and this way you have to use it. Also, we use the when condition also. We'll talk about this later. When and register variable, lots of things to learn. Okay. Now, what happened here? Install if item in this Ansible facts.packages. So whatever we gathered the informations, we are getting this Ansible underscore facts.packages. Okay. Now let's go ahead and let's modify this script a little bit so that instead of vi, let me check whether Git is installed on. Git is installed on. Let's set this one. So if I just execute this Ansible playbook, and what is the inventory, right? We had created my inventory in our last class. I remember my inventory, and then we have to provide the playbook name, right? So hit enter. Good. The playbook seems correct, and it is executing to the fin server. So see, we got this package informations. What is Sage? Git is not installed. So guys, you'll be thinking, so why we need these things? We can log into the server and get it, right? The information whether it is installed. But the thing is, if it is one server, yes, we can just log in, and so even to log in and get the information, it takes some time. But if you execute it, it takes only few seconds to display the things whether it is installed or not. Again, if there are more than one servers, right? Suppose 10, 15, 50 servers, it's not good idea to log in every time and check the server, right? So better just write a playbook and execute it. It will give you all the information about the packages. Now here you can see it clearly says HTTPD not installed, Git is installed. If I just go and check with it is whether the information is correct or not, I have logged into this server, this green color. Okay. If I just go here and check, let's do Git here. See, Git is installed. It gives us the informations. If I just check the HTTPD, okay. So normally once HTTPD install, it should be installed under. It should be created a directory called by www.html. Nothing, the directory is not there, right? So now it's also clearly says it is not installed, right? It is not installed. Now let's install the HTTPD server and execute the command again. So in our last class we had this demo.yaml, right? Yes. So this demo.yaml. Let's copy this. I can just create one more like sudo vi apache.yaml. So what do you do? On UI server, I'm going to install the Apache server and then copy the index.html file. Then copy the index.html file. Okay. So here I'm going to use apt because this is the Ubuntu server. My node machine is the Ubuntu server. So I use the apt package manager, name Apache2, and state should be present. If it is, if you're going to install, you have to make it present. If you're going to remove, you have to make it absent, right? And simply I'm copying the index file to this var www.html folder, right? And let's make sure this index.html file is available. Okay, I think this is already available, but I have a better code on index.html. Let me copy this code. Go to my, let's set this part. I can do here. Index. Yeah, this file is there. It was very simple HTML file, but I have a better one. Let's paste it here. So let's save this. Now what I need, I just created the apache.yaml playbook. What it will do, it will just install Apache server and then copy, deploy our index file, HTML file, right? So let's execute it. Ansible playbook, my inventory. I'll ask a question just a second. Okay. So you'll be seeing like every time I'm passing this hyphen I and the inventory here. Can anybody tell me where I need to set up this to in order to not to provide every time on the command line? Where I have to mention this inventory? How can I get rid of this? I don't have to provide this option every time in the command line. What changes do I need to do? Very simple, guys. We have completed 2 classes, and I
entry in ANSIBLE.cfg file.
Yes, so we have to update in the ansible.cfg file. Okay, guys, be attentive. Actually, whatever. See, let me just give you something. See, knowledge is nothing until unless you practice. Okay, until unless you use it, knowledge is nothing. So we are gaining all the knowledges, everything. It will be useless if you don't use it, right? If you don't practice it, if you don't reuse it. Right? So just whatever you are gaining, it's very simple task. If you just focus on that, you love it, guys. You love it doing all this Ansible stuff. Not only Ansible, all the DevOps stuff, whatever we are learning, right? If you start working on that, if you focus on that, whatever you have learned, you'll enjoy doing that. Definitely, I guarantee you. But you have to focus. Simply gaining the knowledge and not using it, it's totally useless. Okay, that's fine. So, what I can do, let's Control C here. Where you have to change the ansible.cfg in the inventory section, right? Inventory sections, you have to change it. So let me go there and change it to vi and sorry, go to ansible.ch, right? So if I just search for inventory here, inventory. So we have this inventory, right? Now here we have given my inventory already. We have given my inventory already. That means we no need to specify this. Automatically it will take. Automatically it will take. No need to specify this. Okay. Now Apache. See, it's automatically taking from the my inventory. No need to put it there. Even though you put it, no problem. If you have a separate inventory, kept it there, then you have to pass it as hyphen I inventory. Now what it is doing, it is installing Apache server here. It is installing the Apache server. Just wait for a few seconds. Okay, guys. So by the time it gets installed, what I would say, as we are working on the AWS and we are getting the EC2 instances free, right? A free tier. So I would suggest you guys just create the EC2 instances with 8 GB storage and all 2-3 machines and try practicing all the time, right? Get one Ubuntu machine, get one Amazon Linux or CentOS machine, try what we had done in our last classes, keeping 2 host names, right? We have already 4 host names like if I just give it inventory here, right? If I just give the inventory here, you can just, if I just my inventory here, we have the UI server for Ubuntu and we had created the DB server for EC2 hibernation, right? So, okay, that's good. So we had executed this Apache.yaml playbook, and if you can see here, it has done 2 changes. One is the install Apache; it is successfully done, and then it copied the HTML file. It copied the HTML file. Now, if I just go here, and now if I do see before that, I just did CD here, and it did not work, right? If I do here, see, it went to that folder. At the same time, you need to check whether these things have been installed or not. So what I can do, you can same package Ansible playbook status, we can do that, right? check status YAML. Let's execute that. And this time it will give us two things are installed. Okay. Can anybody tell me why it is still showing HTTPD not installed?
We have to change the file as Apache 2.
Exactly. That is, sorry, who said this?
Ibrahim.
Okay, thank you, Ibrahim. So this is good, guys. That is what I want. You have to immediately answer whatever you. I think you were not understanding the stuff, right? Here, the HTTPD package we are searching, but we have given in our playbook the Apache 2. The package was given as Apache 2, right? So I have to check the module named as. So we have to, instead of HTTPD, we need to change it to Apache 2. We need to change it to Apache 2. Now let's go ahead, save it. Okay, let's execute the playbook again. See what it says? Apache 2 is installed and Git is also installed. So this is how you have to use this Ansible package facts to find it out, right? So now let's move on and do more things on that. So what we had, we talked about this Ansible AdHocs and we talked about the packages, things and all, right? So we saw about the with items, like let's check again. So if I just Apache, sorry, package, check package. Now, if I just want to check any other software, simply you have to add it here. Simply you have to add it here. Suppose I want to check whatever. Suppose Tomcat. Okay, check whether the Tomcat is installed. So you can search for the Tomcat. Put it like that. Any number of softwares or packages you want to check whether it is installed or not, you can go ahead and check it. Okay, so this is how you have to do it with the package facts. And remember, it would definitely get questions, and you can say the module package facts. Using the package facts, facts, we can get to know whether the software is or packages are installed or not. Okay, good. Now let's move on to know about some variable stuffs. Okay, definitely in any systems or any technology, any languages you are learning, guys, variable is must, right? Why we need variables, right? I think everyone knows that. I will not say those things. Why you need variables? Because whenever you are just going to add something and to change dynamically, right? To manage some things dynamically, then you need the variable things. Otherwise, if you want to do hard coded the things like static, it directly can insert the values there. Simple example, whenever you're starting a server, you are providing a port number, right? You can directly give a port number there and start the service. But if you want to make it a variable, so what you have to do, you have to just write HTTP port or whatever the port number, then pass the value, and that HTTP port or some port number can be used as your variable at any time dynamically. If you want to change it, you can change directly only the variables, and it will reflect into the code, right? So Ansible uses the variables to manage differences between systems. With Ansible, you can execute tasks and play with multiple different systems with a single command. Lots of things. I'm not going to read it for you. The documentation, you can just go ahead and read it. Ansible variables. Let's go ahead and check here. Here is the very simple valid variable names. We cannot, that's everyone knows, we cannot create a star or forward something, and the keyword, whatever the keyword is reserved keyword, we cannot create it, like async, lambda, right, environment, all these things. And this hyphen is not also a valid variable name. So variable should create underscore, right? Underscore name. And starting with number is not possible, and with number variable is not possible. Make sure that you are giving the correct format of variable when you are assigning, and this is a simple variable things, and you can see how we can install. See, suppose the variable stops, right, when we need when we need to pass these things to when we're executing the playbook. Suppose here we had written playbooks having 10 lines max, 10 or 15 lines of code, or even 50 lines of code. That's okay to change some variable concepts on that. Your Ansible playbook, when you are going to work on a complex system, right? It could be more than thousands of lines, more than hundreds of lines or thousands of lines. So that time you must need the variable things to be implemented. Okay. Now, how we can use these variable things? It's very simple to use these variables. Let me show you some example here. The same command, same things. I'm going to change it here. Okay. So let's go to the sudo vi and same Apache YAML file. Let me change it. So here I have given the package as Apache 2, right? Let me create a variable sections over here. So you can just declare the was colon, and here you have to just put the variable name. Suppose the variable I can give the Apache server, something like Apache server equal to, sorry, Apache package. Or you can just give very simple things called package equal to Apache 2, right? And file equal to index.html, right? So here, if I just go ahead and check, sorry, not equal, I should give colon. Be careful of it. So, package. So what I have to do here to simply give, let me. So what I can do here, I've just given package as Apache 2, and the file is index.html. So if I just go here to check where to set variables here, see VAT sections, VAT, HTTP port, and all these things. Okay. Now what happens here? It should be under this name sections. Okay. Okay. Now I declared the variables here. I declared the variables in this playbook. I'll show you three to four different ways you can actually use variables in your playbooks. Okay. Let's first check these variables. We can declare it over here and we can use it here. Now, what I need, I just package, I provided it. So I can use the Jinja template now to take to as that is we already assigned to call it, right? So let me delete this one and I can use the Jinja template here and I can just provide the variable name is package, right? Package. Same thing here and the index.html file. So what I can do here, I can just use. So now I can just use file. As it is only 2-3 lines I have written and it's very simple, I change it. If thousands of lines there and more and everywhere file is used, and everywhere Apache 2 word will be used. So what you have to do, you have to later to do a variable and just assign this and use it. Okay. Now what I can do, okay, so here it is already installed, right? Let me just save it. Let's execute the playbook, Ansible playbook. Now, okay, it might be so with the missing words. I did wrong here. There should be a space in the both side. There should be a space in the both side. Space here and space here. Okay. Now in space here, and give space here. So this one, let's execute. Uh, what happened here? Could be wrong, but this one looks like it might be, and this should be the missing ports, convinced port, template, expressions, package, the started value for instance. Okay, let's change it to provide a port. I forgot, right? Should provide a port here. Let's remove this part. It's not required. Completely give index.html. Index.html. That's fine. Okay. Now you can see here. Here we have this Apache 2. We can see here how the variables were declared here and assigned it here, right? Now, let's change this one to absent and let's see whether it is working or not. Remove the Apache server, okay? Sorry, remove the Apache server. Absent. Now, let's use this playbook here. So we can see here one change. That means it has removed the Apache server from the destination server, right? So if I just do cd and go back, still there, it's not removed. Let's check. Now let's do the package checks whether it is installed, removed or not. It will be there because it's still there, right? The folder is still giving us the details. Okay, Apache 2 is not installed. Okay, it has removed now. Now what we can do, we can simply modify this again. Now we can see here the variable is getting updated here. Now let's add it here as present. So this one, let's execute the playbook. Let's execute the playbook here. Sorry, not this one. Okay, Apache one. Okay. Now what you can do, if I just go here, okay, and check status package, right? Also, once it is installed, we can directly see the server, right? As it is a web server, we can directly check it here, right? See, it says DevOps class and all these things it's giving. So that is it installed the software Apache to the server and then it deployed the HTML file on the HTML directory. Okay, the same things you can do same thing with the variable things we can do it. Now let's understand more on variables. So here we have defining variables in inventory. How we can use it? We can use the variable C as vars directly. We can use the variable here. Also the same thing, we can create a file and use the parameter as vars underscore files in order to use this syntax vars underscore files. If you keep the variables in a file, if you keep the variables in a file, let me show you that. Okay, so this is very important. That's why I'm just focusing more on this so that you can understand easily, right? Apache YAML, sorry. Apache. Now let's delete this variable stops from here. Okay, delete the variable stops from here. Now save this one. Now save this one. What we can do here? So apache.yaml, we got it. Uh, so create a variable files. Okay, so I can create a folder called a directory called var file. Okay, and we create a file on this. So var file. So vars dot or any name, right? Vars dot txt. Sorry, any name it should be fine. Vars dot txt, right? I created a creating file. Now here I can just put the variable here. Okay, put the variable here. Suppose I can just like this. It has given, right? Sorry, it should be an YAML file, not text file. It should be YAML file. Okay, let's change it later. So what I can do, I put YAML file here and I just give a package name, package colon, right? And the package was Apache 2, Apache 2, right? Save this one. I created one variable here, right? Now what I can do here, let's rename this name MV, MV var file, var.txt, var file, var.txt, YAML. So I created the vars.yaml file with one variable called package.apache2. Right now, let's change the YAML file with it was present. Right now, let's put it absent. Hit enter. Now, what I can do here? Let's go ahead and sorry, we have not executed it, right? So Ansible playbook, Ansible playbook, and Apache YAML. The task includes, okay. Why it is, guys? Why you got this one? We created a variable file, external variable, but we have not declared it, right? We have not declared it. So how we'll do that? In the Apache file itself, we have to create the vars underscore file, right? This is how you have to use vars underscore files colon files colon. Then you have to specify the file where you have put this, right? So the file name, in our case, it is I think what is the folder name? Let's copy this one. The folder name was var file, and the file name was vars.yaml, right? Vars.yaml. Copy this and put it here. Got it? Here, I gave this path like vars file is a folder directory where it is present this vars.yaml. Okay. Now, this variable, whatever is kept in this YAML file, you can keep more than 100. You can keep any number of variables here and can use that variable file and call these variables with the Jinja template inside the playbook. Right. Now, let's save this one. Let's execute the playbook here again.
So now it's uninstalling it, right?
Now it is uninstalled. Now, if I go, it is just an uninstalled. If I go here and refresh this page, this it will not be there. See, it is uninstalled. Now, same things. Let's go and modify with agent. This is just a demo of checking how variables can be used in a different way. Okay. Now it is installed also. Now if I just go ahead and refresh this page, see, this is how, guys, you have to use the variables. Okay, there are other ways also. Let me show you quickly what you can do here. Go to the Ansible variables. So here, one in the files, okay, and another one is to using through register. That means whatever the result will generate, the value that can be assigned using the register values. We can use using the registers things. So here, let's go ahead. Okay, another way of defining is the hyphen extra vars. So that will be a question. There will be a question comes how you will, right? How you will pass the variables externally in the command line by using hyphen extra vars when you are executing the playbook. That time you can pass it. Let me show you. So here what happened? We are simply executing it and it's getting the variable based on the variables available in the file. Now if I just want that to be passed from here, I can just use extra hyphen vars, and then you have to specify within the quote. What is that? You have to specify the variable name with values, right? In our case, it is package equal to Apache 2. Suppose I'll give something else. I suppose want to install, anyway, Git is installed. Let me install something else. What I can install? Okay, let's put it Git. Hit enter. See, I just passed the variables package here. So what is it doing actually? Let's do in this verbose mode. Okay, hyphen v. Okay. So
I have a doubt, but why that copy the HTML file tasks keep on running even though if you remove or uninstall it?
okay, I'll tell you. Nice question. Yeah. Let me show this one. Cast object still with two verbose mode is not displaying. Let's have another verbose mode. So hyphen VB actually we are giving to display in the verbose mode. Okay, so this is okay, and yeah, here. Acha, it's reading the verbs. Okay, so we have to comment it. No? What we have to just comment this one. Let's comment out this variable first. Okay, I commented it here. Let's execute. Go to the section here. Sure. So it is not anymore reading from the vars file. So it is, see, the package name is git. We got the package name is git. So this is how you have to pass the variables externally in the command. And this particular variable, whatever you're passing, make sure that is being declared in the playbook. Okay, otherwise it will not ask it. Okay, so okay, why the index.html is running all the time? Okay, good question. So if we just open this file, let's open this particular file. What happened here? Here we have just given two tasks. Here simply we have given two tasks, right? So this task, whatever is given sequentially, we have not given any kind of conditions that the second one will not run if it is installed, if it is destroyed or removing. So what will happen here? Whether you install or not, whatever you do, whether it is fail or not, what will happen? It will just execute this particular task for you all the time. And even though, remember guys, even though it copies or not copies does not matter, because the same content will be all the time, it will be there. But it's not good idea to keep it as it is, because every time you are doing some changes, it will also do copy the index.html. So whenever you are writing the playbook, make sure those particular content is available, whatever you want to achieve it, right? If you have 100 tasks written and executing for the only one task, it's not idea. It's good idea to execute the same playbook. What you have to do, you have to write another playbook, or you have to use AdHoc commands to execute that particular thing. Understood now? Also, there are options available in conditions. You can just write it. If it is removed, don't copy this file, right? That I'll show you in some time. Okay. Or if it is failed, don't execute the task. Okay. Now we saw 3 ways of passing the variables, right? There are multiple other ways also available. Another one, let me show you, is the other one is the register. Other one is the register. So what this register does? It just register a variable. Register a variable here. Okay. That means whatever, see here I've just used a module called cell module and executed a command cat to get all the informations available in the test.txt, and all the informations will be stored under this variable. It registering a variable and saving all the output here. Then I'm checking with when condition. When the this test.const is the variable, dot standard out dot find module to check hello, if hello is available in this .txt or not, right? So echo file dot contains the word hello. Now this is the register to register a variable and store the values. There are, as I said, there are multiple ways to store the variables here, almost around 22 ways you can store this variable. So guys, go ahead. And another one, this group vars and host vars definitely will get questions, and this one we'll discuss in our upcoming classes. Don't worry about this one. Okay. And we already have var files, vars, right? External vars, in set facts, and all these things we have already covered. And this host vars, group vars, and few more are there. Register also we just discussed, right? Those things we can just check it later. Now we saw these variables, and as this is most important, I'm focusing more onto these variable sites. Okay. And what do we see? Okay, I was talking about the Jinja template, right? I was talking about the Jinja template. Let me show you one thing, how we can write anyway, we already have seen like how with the double curly braces, we can just call the variables, right? Whatever the variable is declared and assigned, those variables, how we can call it with the Jinja template. Now, what we can do, let me show you how we can create a template or a file of Jinja file, and then how we can use it. Let's go ahead. Let's come out from here. Here I have created a templates, and in this template I have a Jinja file. I have a Jinja template. I have a Jinja file. It's called test.j2. Okay. Jinja files extension is .j2. It's not much required, but if you want to more into Jinja and then working on the complex stuffs, better to have some ideas on the Jinja templates. You can find it on the internet. Okay. Now you can just in this file I have a simple stuff I have written here. My name is with these curly braces, ANSIBLE _ facts, the host name. So what it will do, it will simply get the system informations and check the host name of the server. Okay. Now, how I'll use these files in the playbook? I created the Jinja template file, right? How I'll use it? If I just go back, I have a file called okay. I have a file called hostname.yaml. Let's just open this hostname.yaml. So here you can see same UI server. Okay, I'm using the module called template. So you remember these Jinja things should be used under the template module. And here I'm just using the templating this source, this particular folder. This file is available. I'm just using this template to create a file under this destination. Under this destination. So if I just execute it, what will happen? It will get this Jinja template file and place it under this hostname file with the content available in the Jinja template will be pasted over here. Let's do that. If I just do Ansible playbook, okay, and just provide hostname YAML. So if I just go to the server here, okay, and what is the folder? We had kept it in the TMP, right? So here we have a file called hostname. If I do cat this file hostname, see my name is, and this is the hostname of this server. Okay, this is a very simple, basic, very simple things I showed you. But if you just want to use it, just go with Jinja templating. That's a very different topic, and you can just Jinja, sorry, Jinja templates, Jinja template in Ansible. Okay. Templating in Jinja 2. Documentation. We have separate documentation and Jinja 2, how we have to use it. This is what I just showed you, right? This is what I just showed you, what you have to write it. Okay. It's very simple ways to do, and variable fact and whatever you want to check it. Different modules are available for template. Just go with these documentations, and so I just simply show you a very basic what you getting it from this documentation. Okay. Now, so what we heard about debug module, we already have seen it here, and now gathering facts. We saw this okay, this lookup command using the lookups in the variables. Okay, so why we need this lookup? See, whenever we create a variable, so here we can see here sometimes what happens, the variables whatever doing the automations, right? What we need, sometimes the variables will be created where now we are assigning the variables, right? Sometimes what will happen, those variables will be automatically, the values generated by other commands will be stored in the variables, right? Then that time we should go with the lookup command. So what it does, we are just having a variable name, and it is just looking up using this lookup method or a function. What it does, it just look up the file in this particular path. This word look up this file in this particular word. If it is there, then it says this particular value is this one. So this variable is getting and checking the variable, this variable. Okay, this is how you have to use it. That's all, guys, for today's class, and tomorrow classes will discuss further some advanced topics on the creating on the roles, galaxy, and few more other commands or modules we'll check about with small Java project. One small Java project we'll do with. I think final project cannot be done tomorrow. If time we give permission, then we'll definitely will do the projects tomorrow. If not possible, then we can extend that project work to next week. Next Saturday will be the final one. Okay. And maybe tomorrow classes we'll talk about the roles and some advanced concepts of this Ansible Galaxy, Ansible Vault to secret keep your sensitive informations. So we'll see how we can work on different servers and all. Okay, guys. So do you have any questions or anything we can discuss, or we can wind up this call as I have something. Okay.
I have a question.
Yeah, please tell me.
But in the copying of in the Apache file, the copying only I have a question. Like
Yeah.
even though if it is absent, that Ansible doesn't have a inbuilt tool to say there is no actually there is no field like there is no directory to copy something like that, right? But it is showing okay and finished, right? That is also that is the one I have doubt.
Which one? The last command.
The Apache copying, right? The Apache, yeah, in the Apache file.
Apache. This one. Let me open this one. Apache. Okay. What is that?
If we give that state equal to absent,
okay.
Even though it will copy that source and destination, whether it will create a var directory in that, and it will copy or how it is, because it doesn't say any error it doesn't throw any error.
Yes, right? It will. Why it is copying? Because see, when we uninstall that's a very good question and very good finding also. If we do absent also, it is what it is doing. Let me do the example here straight away. So what it will do actually, let me show you, we can understand clearly. Okay. So if I just use absent here, let's see what is the behavior of this. Okay. Absent. Done. Okay. So if I just execute this playbook, Ansible playbook here, and Apache, enter. Okay, so I need to modify this variable files. We have to uncomment it. So as for his things, so like even though it destroyed, so it does the changes of one only, but it didn't do any changes to the copy HTML file, did it? It did not copy actually. Only changes happened that it destroyed.
But right? Why saying the task is okay? It should say something, right? Destroyed or.
That means it's already there. So here it is changed. That's why it changed. It is okay means it's no changes there. That's why it says okay, right? See, if I do again, what will happen? See, everywhere it says okay. Means it's already installed. Okay, file is already there, copied. Okay, so if there is a changes, then it will do. And also, you'll be seeing when we uninstall the directory, actually, that is what I was checking. Even though you uninstall, the directory will be there. The directory.
That's what my question is. Whether the directory will be there or not.
See, directory will be there. See, that is why it is just checking. Because the directory is there, the file already there. That's why it is not copied. Okay. That is why it is not copying. Right?
Usually when we uninstall, it will remove the directory also, right?
But here in HTTPD, it is not removing the directory.
Okay, but when we do manually, it will remove it or
no manually also. Let me remove this file rm index.html. I remove this file. The file is not here now. Let's execute this one with remove option, right? With absent option. Let's see what is happening. See, now what is it? Changed. Why? Because every time, as I said, first it does gathering the facts, first it checking the facts, and then it is executing the task. First is checked whether whatever we are going to use the task, whether it is already installed or not. It says, yes, it's already destroyed. It's not there. Then it's checked whether the file is already copied or not. It's not copied because we deleted the file. Then it copied the file. So if I just go here and check, now the file will be there. See, the file is copied now.
Mm.
This is how Ansible works, guys. Okay, guys, I have to go somewhere. Maybe we can catch up tomorrow, same time 8 a.m. Okay.
Okay.